Hey everyone, I'm Josh with Rubi the Rubicon, and today we're going to have a look at our Ozi4x4 Amazon Aluminium Canopy. Hey everyone, Josh here with Rubi the Rubicon. Today we're going to have a look at the canopy that we put on the back of Rubi. We've had this canopy on for about 12 months now, so I think it's about time that we gave it a good review. The good, the bad and the ugly. If you've seen our previous review videos, you know that we're not backward in coming forward. We did pay our own money for this. This is not a sponsored video. We just felt that this is now the right time to talk about this canopy and our experience with it. So as previously said, this is an Ozi4x4 Amazon Aluminium canopy. They make a couple of different versions of this canopy. This is the aluminium one. We chose the aluminium one simply because we wanted to be lighter weight. But there's a problem with that. The first problem is they don't actually tell you how heavy this is. It is lighter than the steel canopy, but it's not. There's no actual number on exactly how heavy this is, and we didn't weigh it, so we don't actually know how heavy it is. It's somewhere between 50 and 100 kilos. Myself and a friend picked this up off the ground after we assembled it and put it on, so it's not too heavy. It's not so heavy that two people can't pick it up. It does require assembly. This canopy comes as a flat pack canopy kit with a set of, if I'm being honest, fairly rubbish instructions with just some pictures. There are a few videos on YouTube of various people who have put these canopies together and fitted them to their vehicles, but you're kind of on your own. Now, I will mention that this canopy, the mounting hardware that it comes with, you can use to mount it on the truck. It comes with these clamps to mount the canopy on either side, and if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not a real fan of that mounting system. But it does also come with a set of brackets that look like they're designed to mount into the trail rail system provided for the Gladiator, which, if you've got a Rubicon like we do, is a great way to do it. But there's a problem. It doesn't come with the T-nuts for the trail rail system, and the trail rail system on the Gladiator is its own system, comes with a special sized T-nut. So I reached out to Ozi4x4 and said, hey guys, I'd like to mount this using the trail rail system. Can you supply the T-nuts? And Ozi4's response was less than stellar. Their response was basically, you have purchased this canopy on your own. We recommend having it fitted by a professional installer. As you're not a professional installer, we can't help you. I later found out from a few other people that had similar experiences, and that the recommendation was to mount the canopy with the clamps on the sides. I wasn't real happy with that, and so I spoke to a friend of mine who runs an engineering shop locally, and I had some T-nuts manufactured that exactly matched the profile of the trail rail system for the Gladiator. So as mentioned, it does come as a flat pack kit. It's fairly straightforward to bolt it all together. The kit did come with a tube of silicone to seal up all of the panels and some rubber strips to put down on the bottom in between this gap here, and that all works quite well. As an assembled unit, the canopy is quite solid. It mounts quite well once you've got the right hardware, although I will note that there are a couple of little mounting tabs at the front of the canopy that look like they're designed to pick up on existing holes in the front of the canopy. Now, we put some 8mm nut certs because you can't physically get your hand in the right spot to put a bolt through. So we put nut certs in, and once we put the nut certs in, we found out that the little tangs that come down off the front of the canopy just aren't quite long enough to get a bolt in if you put a nut cert in the hole. If you don't put a nut cert in the hole, and if you've got smaller fingers than I do, you can probably get a nut and a bolt through the hole, but that's not the route that we chose to go. So we might have made that a little bit harder than we had to. The canopy itself has these nice latches on it. They look pretty good from first appearances. They just pop like that and open. Now this leads me to the next thing. This canopy is not insulated, and as you can see, I have started insulating the canopy, but this gets really hot. If you don't insulate this thing, whatever fridge you put in here, and I mean, we've got a Brass Monkey fridge in here, which is not the world's greatest fridge, but it does work. If you don't insulate in here, it will hit 65, 70 degrees in full sun inside here, and your fridge will have a hard time keeping up. As you can see over the other side, you can see it comes with these big mounting brackets that pick up off the trail rail, and you can see where I've put the nuts in the trail rail system. You can also see the bolts that go through that mounted at the front. So once it's all mounted up, it is very solid. All of the doors are mounted with gas struts, and they all work quite well. Now, with the latches that I was talking about, there is a problem with them, and you can actually see it on the door on the other side. The latches bend. The latches bend over time, so whatever latch that they've used in these things is not the greatest quality. Now, there are lots of different makes and models of these latches. I'm about to replace all of mine, and I'll get on to why I'm about to replace them, not the manufacturer, in just a sec. Now, there are adjustable mounting points on the Canopy. You can change where the gas struts mount in to give you more or less opening when the gas struts are at full extension. So you can adjust these holes to make the struts go up more or down more, etc. Just another option. As I said earlier, on the inside frame, there's plenty of slots to put cable ties for mounting screws, all that kind of stuff. No issue there. As I said, these latches aren't the greatest thing out there. This one in particular, I'm having issues with at the moment, and the issues are this. This latch has been adjusted multiple times. The one on the other side doesn't do it, but this one does. This latch has been adjusted multiple times, and as you can see here, I have adjusted this out as far as it will go. But the problem is, if I close the latch, there is free play in it. So these latches are not real good quality. I would have liked to have seen a little bit better quality on these. Thanks everybody for watching this video. If you could please like, subscribe and share the video. We're well on our way to 500 subscribers. Every single like, share and subscribe in particular does help. Now, the Canopy does come with a interior light and some basic wiring. There's plenty of places to put cable ties in so that you can wire various things up. If you want to put additional lights in like I have on the outside, the aluminium is nice and soft and easy to drill through, and that all works quite well. Everything comes with connectors. The wiring's very easy to splice. There's no complaints about any of that there. Now, these external lights that are on the very outside are lights that I have added. These are some extra warning lights for some roadside work that I do. But these lights here, this light in the center and this light here, are ones that come from factory. Now, as you can see, after 12 months, the glue has delaminated on these, and you can see water's gotten into them. This brake light, I'm also starting to have segments of the brake light after less than, like, this has not even been wired up for 12 months. After less than 12 months, I'm starting to get segments on that light die. And on this, I'm also seeing, you know, water ingress. I have no doubt that given enough time, that lens is going to fall off. Now, the glass on the Canopy front and back is tinted. I would have liked to have seen the front window on the Canopy come in an untinted fashion. Would have just helped with the visibility out the back. You can see through the rear vision mirror during the day out the back window even with the tinted glass, but as I said, it would have been nice to see the front window actually have a clear piece of glass in it instead of tinted glass, as it would just help the visibility out the back just a little bit more. Mounting accessories to the Canopy is really easy, given that you've got these nice little rails on top. The metal is nice and soft. It's aluminium, which means it is quite easy to work with. Drilling holes, etc., is not an issue at all. Yeah, we've got a solar panel and an awning mounted up on top, and once they're mounted in, it is absolutely rock solid. They do not move. Now, we do a bit of off-roading, as evidenced by the pinstripe marks on the Canopy, although I will say, for all the pinstripe marks that we have on the Canopy, we don't have that many pinstripe marks actually on Rubi itself. So whatever they've painted Rubi with, the finish on the Jeep is a lot better than the finish on this Canopy. This Canopy doesn't take much, and it gets all marked up. And this, once this marks up, you can't get rid of it. So we may actually look at wrapping this at some stage, because even if you're going down trails where you're just barely brushing up against it, you're going to end up with pinstripes on this canopy. Would have liked to have seen a little bit better finish on this. But perhaps the biggest elephant in the room of this whole experience with this canopy has been the customer service. Ozi4x4 are a relatively new company here in New South Wales, and I believe they're opening up additional warehouses in various places. They look like they import a lot of things from overseas, although I can't say that for certain, but I can say that their customer experience has been much less than stellar. When I first got the canopy and it didn't have the right mounting hardware to use the trail rail, instead they're advising to use the clamps on it, and they simply stated to me that I wasn't a qualified installer, so they couldn't help me. That was pretty poor form. After a short period after I had the canopy fitted, I did start to run into those issues with water ingress and the LEDs failing in the brake light in the rear light, and they basically turned around to me and said, "We're sorry, the manufacturer of the canopy only provides a limited warranty. You're past that period now, we can't help you." I escalated the issue to Consumer Affairs, Fair Trading, is the body in New South Wales. And when I spoke to the person in Fair Trading in New South Wales, apparently I am not the first person to have issues with Ozi4x4, so much that they actually have a dedicated case manager. They did get in touch with Ozi4x4 on my behalf, and they advised to me that they had ordered replacement lights from the manufacturer, but there could be a delay. That was about 3 months ago. I've not heard anything since, and at this point I've given up. Unfortunately, the Fair Trading New South Wales can't mandate the sellers perform a replacement. What they can do is make a recommendation for me to take it to NCAT. However, I don't have the time, and it's less about the money, more about the time. I don't have the time to take a whole day off to go to NCAT over a couple of $50 lights. It would have been nice to see Ozi4x4 make good on the warranty. It was a relatively inexpensive canopy, and when I say relatively inexpensive, I think it was about $2,000. So I actually got this a little bit wrong. When I originally purchased the canopy, we paid $2,119.20 on discount, down from $2,649. That was in October of 2023. The exact same canopy as of 2024 is now listed at $3,799 on their website with an RRP of $5,500. Even still, when you're spending that kind of money, you expect that if something goes wrong, you're going to get support from the manufacturer. So, buyer beware. I have to admit, when I originally filmed the outro, I was filming the outro under the assumption that the canopy was still only a mid $2,000 to $3,000 canopy. For the money, for what it's now listed, $3,700, don't buy it. Really, just don't. There are so many other options if you're going to spend that level of money that are better in the market, that are better supported from a better manufacturer. I am now in the position where they're not going to honour any warranty on the canopy. I have to replace both of the reversing lights, the brake light, and I'm going to have to replace all of the locks, because they're all the pairs of locks are keyed separately. So I've now got 2 broken locks. If I have to replace 2 locks, I'm going to have to do all 6. And to buy a quality set of locks, you can get cheap locks to replace them, but if you want to put a quality lock in them, the locks are $25 each. So that's $150 just on replacing locks that should have been replaced by the manufacturer. I wish I could say that I like this canopy. I wish I could say that I like the customer service experience. I have nothing against Ozi4x4. I have no biases except for my own experience. I honestly cannot recommend buying this canopy off them, and from my experience with them as a seller, I will never buy another product off them again. Hopefully this video has been informative. I try to be open and honest with everything that we review. We did pay our own money for this canopy. It was not sent to us, and honestly, I had expected more. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. We are currently targeting 500 subscribers on YouTube. It would be really great to get there before the end of the year, so make sure you smash that subscribe button. I hope you've enjoyed this content, and thanks everyone for watching. I'm Josh, and this has been Ruby the Rubicon. Cheers.